It's going to count down.
I know, right?
It
Okay.
says live now, Jeanette, so
We're
you
good.
can stop.
Oh, okay. I can talk now.
Yeah.
Okay. The reflective questions for the course introduction is, as you read about the history of outreach, family, life, education, in what capacity do you see yourself getting involved with strengthening marriages and families through FLE? What were they? Their primary, secondary, and
Tertiary.
tertiary? Yes. I like the primary one, getting involved in prevention. So that'll be the first one. I also like the last one, kind of getting involved after the fact when problems have already arisen, because that's where I have that's where I have experience, I guess. Unfortunately, I guess, I don't know. That's where I have experience in that. So I like the preventative because as a kid we could have used the preventative, but unfortunately we used the last one more so than I like to admit, I guess, sometimes. Kelly, what do you think?
I think as far as like what I would want to do, it'd probably be more towards the primary
Mm-hmm.
and teaching preventative things and strengthening the family, giving people tools so that when things arise, they can hopefully take care of them before they become bigger things.
Right.
That's probably where I would be.
That's right where I would want to be too, and love to help people, but I would want to be more on the preventative side of things to teach them how to avoid a lot of the mistakes and pitfalls and things. I just know how hard I've had to work to get out of things I've stumbled into that weren't so good, and so I'm a huge fan of being prepared for things and having, like you said, having the tools and providing tools for others, helping them know what they can
Yeah. Well,
use.
and having a plan. I think having a plan really, and goals. They talk about uh, family life goals or family happiness life goals or something like that. And I think that could have been really helpful when I was a kid too, is to have, okay, this is our family goals, this is what we're going to be doing, and maybe having that in school, like in elementary school and in high school, have a class. Like I know my daughter, she's 10, and she has guidance class. We never had guidance
Wow.
class. Yeah, they talk about like when you're upset, what you should do, how you should problem solve. They go through like role playing and stuff, and she uses it on her brothers, which is hilarious, but it works. I mean, I think I could have really benefited from that, because couldn't we all? I
I
guess
think
because we only have our experience as an example of our family, and if our family is not the best example or people around us, then we just continue with that, and we fall into the same pitfalls, like Shancy was saying, the same pitfalls that they have or fell into, and it's hard to get out.
it is. I like that they're doing that. I just got done taking the HFED class, the finance, and
Mm-hmm.
I just kept thinking through that whole class. It would be so neat if part of the graduation requirements was that people had to take a parenting class and a marriage class and a dating class and a
Mm-hmm.
finance and
And
planning
finance.
and go through all those processes where they learn those things to help them become better and to help them be more proactive in their life. I remember it was sometime last year, and I don't even remember what class it was, but we were reading about some of the studies that they'd done where they took the issue was with all the young mothers, young parents that were not prepared to be parents because they were still kids themselves, and they took them and they gave them, as part of the study, they gave them like classes and workshops and stuff, and taught them about parenting, dating, and relationship things, and just gave them a few skills, and they in the end did better in the over a course of a couple of years. They actually were in a better place than their peers who were not given those workshops. And then the other thing I was just thinking of was we've been learning about the family council, um, And have you already taken the class? Both of
Yeah,
you
I
where you
have.
read how to
Yeah.
counsel with your kids? Really, really good. And I just think that like Jeanette and both of you were talking about having a plan, and I think that's one of the best things to do in your home and get in the habit with your children when they're young is if they grow up planning and preparing and discussing and working through things, they're going to be in a much better position than a lot of their peers. I know someone that did that a lot with their children, and when they sent them to college, they couldn't believe that people in college didn't know how to cook or to clean or to go out and to make up a grocery shopping list and go shopping a grocery shopping list and take care of things, and they didn't know how to take care of themselves, and so it made it so much harder for them as students because they were learning not only the stuff in their coursework, but they were also learning life and having to learn how.
That sounds horrible. Doesn't that sound like if you didn't know how to take care of yourself and you're trying to do your classes and you're trying to like, how do I do laundry? Wait a minute, how do I feed myself? What does my mom do? Like you have like no clue. I was in the Walmart line. Everything happens at Walmart. Right when we moved here 2 years ago, and this girl in front of me, she's college student. I live in a college town, and she's a college student, and she's like has her checkbook out, and she's gonna write a check, and I'm like, okay, write the check, and she's like, do you know how to write a check out? I'm like, your parents gave you money and gave you a checkbook, and you just know how to write a check out, you poor thing. I mean, I guess I look trusting, and so I told her how to do it and stuff like that, and she's like, thank you, and the checkout lady, she's just like, she's like a grandma aged lady, and she's just shaking her head like the kids these days type of an attitude. But I just felt so bad. Your mom and dad sent you out here completely unprepared. Like you should know how to write a checkout. Well, did they not go over that? I just felt really bad for her,
That's so sad.
I
I
know.
kind of had the same thoughts you guys did. I thought it was interesting as I read the readings from this week, and then some of the reflective questions were like, how do you feel about the importance of the family and all this stuff? And I thought, man, we teach kids in school. We teach them how to write, and we teach them how to read, and we teach them all these things so that one day they can probably get a job. But working with people also comes with getting a job, and we don't teach them like any social skills at all for working with coworkers, for getting married, for having kids, for being a friend, like none of that stuff. So I think it's important, and it's funny that we don't. And I think that's so cool. My daughter's 9.5, and I think that'd be so cool if they had some sort of program like that at their school.
Mm-hmm.
That's so awesome that they have that there.
At first I thought it was kind of ridiculous. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I was kind of giving her junk about it, and she's like, well, Mom, we talk, like, what are you talking about? And she told me, I'm like, oh, well, that's a great idea. She's like, well, yeah, that is a good idea, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea. But at first I was suspicious because, I don't know, I guess I'm naturally suspicious, and it's funny that, we send our kids, they can read and write, but when a coworker gets mad at them, they have no idea what to do. They're like freeze, right. And you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Mayday, mayday. Deer in headlights.
I've worked in the hospital setting and in the physician's office setting for the last 6 years, and it's interesting. There's so many kids who were really, really good students. They were on the honor rolls. They were in all of the extracurricular activities. But yet, once they were out on their own, within a year or two, they were coming into our office because they were suffering from extreme anxiety, extreme depression, and a lot of it had to do with not being prepared in life, not being prepared for life. And I'm actually really enjoying reading our book because it's giving me more ideas. I've been thinking of for a long time that there's things that we could do in our communities that would help. So
we could help alleviate the problem because I mean, I guess my mom taught me well and what to do and not to do, but also my parents had divorced, and so I was my mom depended on me to help out. I'm the oldest girl, and so yeah, I had to learn a lot of stuff at home because my mom needed me, and I was more than willing to help out. I didn't know how much I helped my mom until uh, maybe a couple years ago, maybe 5 years ago. I don't know. I'm getting older, and time is kind of smashing together. But she's like, Jeanette, you really helped me out. I'm like, really? She's like, yeah, like changing diapers and babysitting and housework and stuff. You really, yeah, helped me out. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't think anything of it at the time, and I still don't. But she's like, you really helped me. Thank you. I'm like, oh, you're welcome, Mom. But that's why, because she taught me these things. Like, do you remember learning to do the laundry? Like, I don't remember.
No, I think I just always did it.
Yeah, see, but you have to have that example of a mom or a father or a grandpa or grandma or somebody to teach you stuff. And I think a lot of parents now, unfortunately, some people have to work, but they're still. I mean, you still can teach your kids no matter if you work or not. I guess it's just that your time is limited. But it's just we need to teach our kids so they can. I mean, we make them go to school and make school a priority, but are we teaching them the social stuff of social aspects and relationships? And I think we're kind of lacking on that because looking at where we are now, where we were like 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, it's a completely different world that we live in.
Well, you've got kids now that can, 2-year-olds can run an iPad, but 19-year-olds can't do their laundry or go shopping.
Right. Man, those kids pick up that swiping so fast. I'm like, what?
Yeah, they do.
I think Jeanette said, our time is limited, but I think there's never really going to be a time in our life when our time is not limited. And
right.
So I cook a lot of the times with my kids, not as much as I used to since I got divorced, but I used to cook with them all the time. I used to clean right there with them all the time. And now that they're older, and by the way, they are here listening.
Keep it PC. Keep it PC.
Very PC, and they're being real good to be quiet.
They're being very good, Chancy.
Thank you. They know that it's being recorded.
Oh.
But now that they're older, I can ask my son or my daughter and say, you know what, I'm not able to cook dinner tonight. Would you be in charge of cooking dinner, and I'll clean it up later? Or I can send my son out and he can mow the lawn, or I can send my daughter through the house to do the dusting, or and I don't have to sit there and monitor. And she wants me to remind or to say that she helps with the dishes. I don't have to have that constant coaching. So I took the extra time at the beginning, and now
it's paying off. Yeah, it's paying off. And now they're going to be, when they get older, how do you mow the lawn? Well, Jonas is going to know how to mow the lawn, and Alexa's going to know how to dust because you taught him that. I think.
Yeah, so I always tell them I can't call myself a good mom if I can't teach you the things that you need to know to be a good person and a good adult and be able to take care of yourself. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and sewing. Yeah. Anyway, we do lots of stuff. So what's our next question?
What specific strengths, abilities, and expertise do you have that would enable you to play a role in taking family life education to these unserved groups that often need family life education the most? Personality. You're not afraid to talk to anybody, Shancy, and you're really friendly.
You're right, but I'm actually really quite shy.
Get out of town. You have like this online secret identity, secret personality, I guess.
I'm actually really quite shy. My Young Women's Value Project, when I was a Laurel, was to not be so shy, and so I had to teach myself to look up when I walked in the hall, and then when that got a little bit easier, I had to look up, and then I had to smile. and I had to look at people, and then when after that got a little comfortable, I had to look up, smile, and then say something to them, like hello. And then I had to then I added on, then I had to compliment them, say something nice. And it was really, really hard, but now I talk a lot. I still get really shy.
Oh, good for you. See, I think it's all about looking at ourselves and knowing ourselves and realizing that we're here to learn and to grow. And sometimes change is forced upon us, and there's nothing we can do about that, like death and about divorce and about choices that other people make that affect us. Those things, I think, are easier to accept because I don't have to change. I don't have to do anything. It's just going to happen to me, as this outside force. But if I have to look at me and I have to change me because I want to change, I think that's harder to do because I am motivating myself to make a change for the better, even though I see that I need to do that. Like you and your shyness. I mean, that took guts to do that. I've never had that problem, Shancy. So I can understand as maybe I'm too talkative, and I'm very opinionated. I get myself in trouble a lot for being opinionated and saying what I feel.
So with everything you're saying, I'm hearing that for you to go out into the community as a family life educator, you're not afraid to talk. You're not afraid to speak up. You're not afraid to say things, to say hard things that people might need to say that they might not want to hear. What else are you hearing, Kelly?
It's really hard.
I think sometimes it's hard. Sometimes it's important for people to hear what they don't want to hear, and you have to have a good personality to do that, and that's a good trait to have.
Thanks.
To not be afraid of that, to not back away from that.
But it's really hard to be honest and kind at the same time.
No, it's
I'm
not.
just saying. Well,
actually, yes, sometimes it is.
Like my family members have not made good choices, and so it's really hard to watch somebody. And with my calling too, I see people not make good choices, and continue to not make good choices. And I've talked to them, and Bishop has talked to him, and my mom is, depending on who it is, people have talked to him and tell him, maybe this isn't the greatest choice, or maybe you should, and I've talked to him and stuff like that. But when it comes right down to it, everybody has free agency, and he's got to stand there and watch sometimes.
So, as a family life educator, that's kind of what we do. We can go out, we can share the information, we can teach people, but ultimately it is up to them to make the change, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't force anybody to make change. If you do force them to make change, then they tend to, they change for a while, and then they realize that they don't want to change, and then they start resenting you and get angry, and then they revert back to what they were doing before. Because they didn't truly do it for themselves, they did it for you. And that's not how to change. You got to change because you want to change. Right.
So Kelly, as a family life educator, what about you?
Oh man, I don't even know. I think I care a lot about people. I have a lot of compassion for people, and I always try to look at the world through someone else's eyes. Like try to understand that person and where they're coming from. And I think that helps you better teach people, because some people can be really difficult. And when you learn where they come from and why they are the way they are, I think it helps us to love them more and to be able to teach them more. And I'm divorced as well, and I think the family is just really important, and so the thought of being able to teach people how to strengthen their own families, so they hopefully don't end up like me, it's nice. I like to do that. So.
Well, and I think what I'm hearing from both of you is experience. Like you have experience. I think we all have experience in different things, and if you meet somebody else that's divorced, or you meet somebody that's a single mom, or you meet someone that has dealt, whatever it is, that you know what they're going through, and you say, hey, I've been through that, and you can totally, when you meet somebody, you know exactly what they're going through, how you felt when you went through that, and so you can talk to them and you can build a relationship on that. And I also think it's interesting that, families, we were sent here on earth in families because that's part of the plan. We need that support. We need that love. We need that acceptance. And just like Heavenly Father loves us and accepts us no matter what, our family is supposed to do the same thing. So.
Yes, that's what I was just going to mention too, was the experience, and because each of us have our own experiences to bring to the table, and like you said, they enable us to have more empathy and understanding, and some people really need that, and they value that, that you've been there before and can help. So. Oh, do you know what? I'm already really enjoying this. Kelly, I'm excited to meet you.
Thanks. I'm excited to have a fun group. I feel like all my groups are kind of like blah.
Oh. Well, you're an awesome group now. We love you, Kelly. Don't worry about that.
You're never going to be bored in our group, Kelly.
Take it from me.
Yeah.
So what's our next question?
Our next question is, in Chapter 18, the need for program rigor is stressed. As stated, FLE programs must be grounded in the best current scholarship if they are to enjoy credibility. Unfortunately, there are too many family life resource available in communities and questionable science foundations. Why is it so critical that you draw upon literature with strong theory or research-based foundation when teaching family life education for your practicum project?
Kelly, I can't hear what you're saying. It's not picking up everything you're saying.
Oh, from the question?
Can you hear us now?
I can hear your voice, but it's not giving me I don't know, the connection must be slow because I'm not hearing you. Jeanette, can you understand what she was saying?
That's why I stopped reading, because I thought I heard somebody talking, but I couldn't make out what they were saying.
Can you hear me, Jeanette?
No, I can't hear.
Yeah, I can hear.
I can't hear Jeanette.
I can hear Kelly now. Well, I'll just answer the question because this is pretty easy. I can hear Kelly now. She's frozen now. Oh no!
Oh.
Kelly, come back.
Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but you're frozen now. Before I couldn't hear you at all.
Oh.
But your face is still frozen on my screen.
Oh.
I can hear you both, but you sound more like Eve on Wall-E.
Well, we need scholarly research, so we know what we're talking about. It's based in good theory, because if we're out there teaching people, but we have no theory or basis behind their research, we're going to get ourselves in trouble, and people aren't going to trust what we say, because it might be pretty, well, you want to teach people solid truth, and not hearsay or this one research, study they did 30 years ago or something like that. You want to be current and updated and have all the facts straight. So you're a trustworthy, incredible person. Can you hear that, Chancey? Does that sound better? No? Do I still sound crazy?
Oh.
I have no idea what you're saying because it just really does sound like Eve, Wall-E.
Oh no.
Go ahead and keep visiting for a minute. Hopefully, it might be my internet connection. I've turned off the Wi-Fi on my phone, and hopefully it will speed up.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's it for the course introduction ones. Do you want to go to week 2? Reading reflective questions.
Sure. That sounds good.
Well, we answered that one already. Wait a minute. Oh, we answered that one.
I can hear you now.
You can hear us better now?
Yes.
Okay, so what are some potential problems if an educator slides into proving therapeutic remediation? So if you're giving therapy when you're a family life educator? What problems will arise?
Well, if you're certified, you are responsible for the care of that person, and if you're not certified, you could be doing something that's not quite right, that might be harmful to them. You're, I guess the word I'm looking for is liable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
also thought about you could unintentionally end up damaging the family, or you could offend them
right,
in
and
a
then they
bad
won't come
way.
back for help more.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, why is it so critical to be thorough in identifying the problem or need of a target audience? And how does one go about identifying these problems and needs? Okay, so why is it critical to identify the problem or need in the target audience? Well, if you don't, you might be, preaching to the choir. People be like, well, who cares? I don't want to learn anything about this. You can have either or.
Right.
And then
I
how
think
do you?
if you're not teaching to the right people, they're just all going to stare at you, or you could offend them, or and it kind of goes back with marketing too. If you don't market to the right people, then no one's going to show up.
Right.
So
Right.
it's really important.
And you really want people to show up to teach, because if you if nobody comes, you can't teach them, and you're not going to go any further. Right? I mean, all the knowledge you have isn't going to do anything if you can't get it out there. So.
Oh no, I think here she comes. She's coming back.
Okay. How does one go about identifying these problems and needs? We could do like surveys or questionnaires. You can do like a Q&A, or just, what do you want to talk about? Or
Right.
or at the end, is there something that I didn't talk about that you want me to talk about? Well, I hear that craziness. I wonder if that's what Chancy's talking about when she says
the feedback.
Yeah.
I'm back, but I went out and back in because I can't hear you again.
But you still can't hear us? Okay, so what are some specified ways you could assess and respond to specific needs of those you will work with in your practicum?
That's a good question.
That is a good question.
Specific needs.
We could do like. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Kelly.
Like finding out what people want to learn about.
Yeah.
I guess that would go back to knowing your audience and knowing what people want to learn.
Right. And I think also being an expert in what you researched on as well, because if you don't know what you're talking about, you're not gonna. I mean, I think the instructor, the teacher, should know, all the information that they possibly can. So if I throw something at them, whatever it is that they're able to answer, and if they're not able to answer it, they're able to, like, you know what, let me look more into that, or give me a small answer, then let me look more into that, or give you, more next week, or whatever it was.
Right. So at least if they don't know the answer, they know where to find it.
Right. Okay, what are your thoughts or insights did you have about marketing family life education? Market. That's what I got.
Yeah.
Get the word out there so people show up. If people don't show up,
Right.
Is that what you
the right people?
And market to the right people. Right.
Yeah.
Like, don't go. Like, I shouldn't go to college if I'm talking about like, teaching young children, because I don't know if they're gonna really care about that at this point. Maybe later, maybe some people would show up, but I mean, that's obviously not the right market. As you probably noticed, the emphasis on assessing and understanding the specific needs of a target audience is a theme that comes up over and over and over again in the text. Duncan and Goddard. Why is this an important aspect of marketing? I think we already talked about that. Is if you don't know your target audience and you get the wrong people there, you could seriously offend them. They could be bored and not come back next week.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to market a product before, even was a product as simple as selling lemonade at the lemonade stand? If so, what was the product, and did you learn about marketing, what worked, what didn't work? What would you have changed to market more effectively? Lastly, what important lessons did you learn that could be applied to marketing family life education? Um, I had I never sold lemonade as a kid, but I would make cookies, and I marketed the cookies to the neighbors and stuff. Um, I like to bake from a young age. Plus, I like to eat cookies, so that
Yep.
was a win-win for me.
Cookie dough.
Um,
Yep.
yeah, that's the only reason why I make chocolate chip cookies now is to eat the cookie dough raw. Don't tell my kids. No. They know and they sit there and eat it with me. That's probably the
Yep.
problem. um, what worked is telling people about it. Like, if you don't tell anybody, no one's going to buy your product. And I did, like, free samples, and then that got everybody hooked. And then they bought the cookies. So, and that same
Yeah.
thing is, like, important lessons you learn that you can apply to marketing and family life education. I think food is a good motivator. Like, even if you have cookies and punch or just light refreshments or something like that, and if you tell people, look, I'm doing this really awesome thing, you need to come and you need to learn more, this applies to you, people are going to show up because they're curious.
Right. Yeah, I think that was the key word, curious. People get curious, and that's how you get them there.
Yeah.
That's a good word. I hadn't thought about that, but that's perfect.
Thanks.
Sometimes, and I don't know if you've already said this because I'm back. I found something was all of a sudden blocking, and when I unblocked it, I can hear you again.
Oh, great. Okay.
That ghostery tracker thing on here, it did something. So, one thing I remember reading or hearing about was, I think we had to watch a video in one of our classes, and it talked about a guy that was doing. He was going to conferences and he was trying to market some stuff that because he was in the same major as us.
Mm-hmm.
It was at Aaron Larson, and he created a product and was trying to market it, and no one was interested. And he had it was at a conference for the military, and everyone was just walking past and not even looking at him. And he thought about it, and while they were in there before they came back out for their break, he ran across the street to the coffee shop, changed the wording on his slogan, and came back, and everyone just started looking at it. They came over and they started talking to him. He sold a bunch of stuff, and so he said a lot of the times the way you phrase things, or the way that and can pique people's curiosity more in that sense. And there was another woman who was doing a workshop, and she only had 5 people show up, and then she did the same workshop, but she changed the phrasing on the way that she told people about it, just changed the phrasing just a little bit, and she filled the place up.
Wow.
And I'm trying to remember where I read that. I like lots of motivational books and self-help stuff. So that's my 2 cents on that one. I don't even know which question we're on.
We just did the
lemonade stand one.
The lemonade stand, which you just answered. And we did the other 2, like marketing-wise. Marketing is so important. What thoughts or insights did you have about marketing family life education? What insights or thoughts did you have about marketing family life education?
I don't know how to do it.
I said market, like get out there. And I think you said like phrasing, make people curious. I said, light refreshments, food,
Yes.
Make them come for the food and then stay for the class type of a thing. For those completing the workshop option, you will need to market your workshop. To do this, it is often helpful to draw existing structures and connections that are already in place. What existing organization, groups, and services within your community could you tap in to help get the word out on the workshop? Or what connections do you have that could utilize to help market your family life education program? I think, it depends what you're doing in your program, but there's like the community center here. There's a library that does a lot of community stuff, and they have flyers all over it. There's a Head Start here in town. There's the university here in town. Your elementary schools are in town, your high school, your middle school, depending on what you're doing, I guess. But
and another good thing, the advantage we have living now is our social media. That is a good thing. You can create an event
Yeah.
And like I live in Preston, Idaho. There's a Preston, Idaho page where there's several thousand people on it.
Oh, wow.
Well, a couple thousand because Preston is only a couple thousand. We are a two-stoplight town.
Nice.
Yeah, and that one didn't happen, and the second one didn't happen until after I graduated high school. But anyway, you can get the word out. You can post it on that page, or you can link it in that way and just invite that way if you're wanting a smaller one.
Yeah. Yeah, I had the same thoughts. Our local library does a lot of those things. And then just down the street from my house, there's a women's resource center, and they do a lot of family life education type classes and things there.
Oh, that's cool.
That's neat. Through the hospitals too, I think you could get with the coordinator there at the hospital.
I didn't think about that.
I've been seeing on my, and it's on my social media, but there's been stuff coming up for a hospital just outside our valley. They've been doing a lot of workshops, and somehow I'm seeing them on there, but it's through the hospital, but it's family life education type workshops.
Huh.
What else was I was thinking of one other thing. Oh, you talked about the women's thing. There's also the crisis shelters and places like that where you can teach. Oh, I'm not even sure what my resources are here yet in the valley, but when I lived in Seattle, I used to help out at a shelter for abused women and children where they were hiding, and then we'd also go downtown every Wednesday and be.
What happened to her? Nancy? Did she freeze up?
I'm right here.
So.
Oh,
I can
there
hear
you are again. Okay. You froze up.
Okay, I was rambling anyway, so I think that was my clue to just that.
Okay. Okay, Dunkard and Goddard described various approaches to family life education. What approach do you subscribe to? Why this approach? There's like an expert approach, facilitator approach. There was a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
I like
Oh, go ahead, Jeanette.
I like the eclectic one where you kind of go with whatever they need at that time because everybody's different.
Yeah, I chose eclectic too because I think there's sometimes where it's important to be the expert, and then sometimes it's important to facilitate and work
Take
off
a step
what
back.
the class wants. Yeah.
Nancy, what do you think?
I'm with the two of you.
Okay, I figured you would. What are your beliefs about the purpose or role of family? How does family life education tie in with your beliefs about the purpose of family? Well, we're church members, and so family is the foundation. And so, yeah, building and strengthening family makes sense to us because a family is important to us, and it is literally the strength of us because we have our families, we have our family of origin, we have our ward families, we have our stake families. We all support and help each other.
Yeah.
What are your values or beliefs that provide guidance as you work with people, whether providing family life education or in some other capacity? I think the same thing as church values and beliefs. And I think some of my personal values is hard work and dedication and commitment, and my word is really important to me, being honest.
Yeah, I think it's really important to be able to sympathize and empathize with people and, not expect that everything you do is the best way to do everything, but to know there's lots of good ways to do things. And, and it's like we're talking about before, just because someone might make bad choices doesn't make them a bad person. We can still love them and we can still teach them.
Right.
And they might choose to use our teaching or they might choose not to, but
yes,
not to give up on people.
Yes, and I think it's also good to remember that there is a measure of goodness inside each person. Some of the scariest, freakiest looking people I've ever met have been really, really kind and really good to the people around them.
Right.
And
Judge a book
and
by its cover, basically.
and I think that people have hopes and dreams, and if you can tap into that, you can find what is that makes them tick, that motivates them. You can help them form a new pathway in their life if they're open to that. Do you remember watching that video series in one of our classes that we've taken before about the woman named Tammy that would walk to like 20 miles to work?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
She's on my mind as I think about this. If she had been able to go to a workshop, something like this, and someone had been able to, she to kind of tap in on the things that she was interested in and pointed her in kind of the right directions, I wonder how her life might have changed and been different. Because they went in and did that video series, but I don't think anything really changed with her life.
There's an update on there. I watched
I
the
did.
update.
I watched the update too, and nothing really changed.
Nothing. I mean, her life did get better. She moved in closer to town. She didn't have to walk so far, and like her one son,
Didn't go to college.
he didn't go to college, which was sad because he, I think, got his girlfriend pregnant, and then her youngest son got his girlfriend pregnant, and they're all living in the same house. But yeah, that's who we need to help.
Yeah.
Because knowledge, I mean, it sounds corny, but knowledge really is power. If you can, just because it's the way it's always been done doesn't mean it always has to be that way. And they're just doing what they were taught and what they've seen as an example, and we know that there are better ways of doing it, but they don't know that, and it's our job to educate them, to let them know, and to help them, so they can have a better, happier home life.
Well, and with the scriptural side of things,
It's breaking that cycle.
Yeah.
And yes, that's exactly what it is. And if you look at it from a scriptural standpoint, we have all been given talent and blessings, and some of us have been put in a place where we have been able to learn, and not with just sharing the gospel, but sharing the knowledge that we've been able to gain, I think is important.
Yeah.
And I think we will be responsible for that with what we do. The parable of the talents. We'll be responsible for what we've been given and what we've done with it. I don't even know if that was on track. That might have been way off track to the last question. I'm sorry. But it made me think of that. So.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it is. An important part of family life education is helping to motivate those who you work with. What is needed to motivate people, and what role do you play in the motivation process?
Well, for Jeanette, it would be cinnamon rolls with raisins.
Yes. Just give me a plate of food, and I'm there. That's motivation.
But it
depends on who you're talking to. Some people, want love. Some people want understanding. Some people want help. Some people, want to have a goal to strive for. Some people like competition. Some people, it just depends. It's different because everyone's different.
Well, as you get to know people a little bit, you can kind of see what motivates them. We talked about that a few minutes ago. Kelly, what do you think? You gotta jump in, Jeanette and I'm just really sorry.
Well, let's keep talking.
Oh, it's no problem. I think in like relation to like our workshops and stuff, it kind of goes back to target audience. We have to get them to care. So if we're going to do a workshop on parenting and they just don't really care about parenting, then there's nothing you can do to motivate them.
Right.
To care about what you're saying.
That's really good point. So what would you do to make it? How could you change that to make it something that they would care about?
I think you have to know your target audience. You have to know what they want and what they need. So like you're not gonna. It's like Jeanette was saying, you're not gonna go to the college and market your parenting class per se, unless it's like BYU. But
yeah.
So you go to people who are gonna want the information you have to give, and and you have to make sure that they understand, and also they understand why they should care. So I think that is kind of part of, like, are you guys doing the workshop as well, I assume?
Yeah, we're doing workshop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think part of it is making them understand why they need to care about what we're going to say to them and why it's important. And hopefully that'll help motivate them to want to know what we have to say and stuff.
I hope so. That was the last question, ladies. We did 3 weeks worth.
Well, that was awesome.
Yay.
My daughter just sent me a note that said you ladies have really good comments.
Oh,
Thanks.
thanks.
Great. Okay, was that everything for tonight then?
Yeah, I think so. And we definitely got the 30 minutes in.
Yeah. And I'll post the link on that discussion board, right? For our teaching and learning interaction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, I think that works. And then we just need to type up, we need to turn in the typed up.
Yeah, the outline. Yeah, the outline. It's due tonight at midnight. Whatever your time is tonight at midnight. So, all right.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
I'm really excited to have met you, and you've got a really. I really like how you think. I love the comments that you've made, and.
Thanks. This class scares the bejeebers out of me.
We are all scared, Kelly. We are all scared. You're not alone.
I had a friend that was. I have a friend that was telling me that when they took it, it was the same way for them. But then once it evened out, it was a lot better once they got the hang of things. And I'm hoping that's how it is for us, because it's something that I'm really interested in, but it's brand new. So I'm just kind of really nervous. Not kind of, but really quite nervous. And so.
Right.
Yeah,
it's kind of like deer in headlights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I feel the same way.
And I'm really happy to have met you tonight. I think our group is going to be really fantastic. I'm really happy you're.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm happy too, because I like it that you're gonna talk and show up. I know that sounds horrible. I've had some bad groups. I completely understand where you're coming from with some blog groups, and you're like, oh no, I had to meet with that class tonight, and I'm not looking forward to it. It's fun when you get to talk and communicate, and you laugh, and you share life experiences, and you get to know each other.
Right.
So. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Yeah. This class is going to be scaring me half to death. And it's already week 3. Usually I'm not scared at this point, but I'm still scared. So I'm like, not good. Not a good sign. Shanty! Awesome. We will do this together. We will do this together. And everything is going to be okay. 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time.
Yep. Everything is cool when you're
part of
a team. Everything is awesome. That's right. The kids love that song too.
Yeah, so do mine. Way too much. They love it way too much.
How many kids do you have?
I have 3.
Oh, okay. How old are they?
I have my daughter's 9.5, my son is 8, and then my little guy will be 3 next month.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. They keep me on my toes.
Yes, I bet.
Yes. Kids do that.
Yeah.
I have 3 too. Awesome. I have a daughter, she's 10, and then 2 sons that are 7 and 4, and I have 1 on the way. So.
Yay!
Yay! We'll see if this is hopefully. The kids don't know yet, so I'm only 10 weeks along, so.
Oh. Our kids are like almost the same age.
I know. I was thinking that too.
A girl and 2 boys.
Yeah. Quite cool. That's awesome that we're all moms. And it makes it easier to talk and understand each other too. Because we know that you don't get to go pee by yourself ever.
Yes. That's my little guy. I go to the bathroom and he's like, I found you, and I'm like, go away. Like, you're almost 3.
Mine always asks me, what are you doing? I'm going to the bathroom. What are you doing? I was just checking on you. Yep, I'm still here, babe. He's like, okay. Then he shuts the door and runs off and plays. I'm like, really? I'm like, no. Oh, well.
That's awesome. Checking on your mom.
Yeah, just making sure you're still here. Just checking in, filling my cup up, then I'll leave you alone. Okay. All right, buddy.
That's so cute.
So,
Okay.
all right.
Well,
Awesome.
when do we want to meet? Do we meet every week then from now on?
I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead.
I don't know. It
I don't
might
even-
be. I feel like I might have heard it might be like every 3 weeks, but I'm not exactly sure.
That
Well,
makes sense
if
because
you
this
want,
was 3
we're
weeks.
good with doing it every week if you want.
Okay. And you guys, you still want to keep it Wednesday nights? Does this work for everybody?
It seems to work well, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And if we need to change, we're pretty flexible, I think. Just
Yeah.
from the
Yeah.
conversation that's been going back and forth. So
Yeah. Well, as long as the kids are in bed, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
not in bed.
Well,
My
my
kids
kids
are down
are in bed.
My kids are supposed to be in bed because they have to get up to go to school, and they're going to be awfully tired tomorrow.
Yeah,
All
my
right, we'll
kids are
let you go,
downstairs
Shancy.
watching
Get those
TV.
kiddos to bed.
All right, ladies. Thank you.
All right. Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.